Hello and welcome to Theatre Reviews with Paul Seven. I'm here at the Theatre Royal Haymarket to see Othello. Othello at the Theatre Royal Haymarket is the finest I've seen, and I've seen quite a few. Stay with me and I'll tell you how director Tom Morris has achieved this triumph by keeping the production simple and by casting David Harewood at precisely the right point in his career to inhabit the title role. And add to that two further superb performances from Toby Jones and Caitlin FitzGerald, plus an additional standout who doesn't even receive above-the-line billing. But first, please like, comment and subscribe to this channel. If you're not familiar with the plot, then please stop watching now, because I'm going to assume that you know that it's about a man who is tricked by a cynical liar into believing his wife has cuckolded him, which then prompts him to murder her. You can tell from that crude summary that Othello is at heart a domestic tragedy. Of all the lead characters in Shakespeare's tragedies, Othello's the least grand. He's not a king or even a noble. By comparison with Macbeth or King Lear or Mark Antony, he's strikingly ordinary. What makes him stand out is that he's successful in his career and he's an outsider. So he's very easy to identify with as he falls victim to someone determined to wreck his life. Othello's also the most plot-driven Shakespeare play as opposed to character-driven, making it easy for an audience to be gripped and carried along. Director Tom Morris understands this, and to his credit, he's not imposed any clever interpretation. He trusts Shakespeare's language to carry the drama, and in the hands of his exceptional cast, it does. The background is military. Othello is a soldier who's won great victories for Venice. He knows his worth, yet he still wrestles with the form of what we call today, I think, imposter syndrome, aware that his race renders him inferior in the eyes of many, and that his stature derives chiefly from his battlefield prowess. His secret marriage to a white woman from patrician Venetian society underscores his fear that the union will be condemned. And his insecurity makes him wonder whether it was merely his storytelling that enchanted Desdemona into marrying this aging black man. Into these shoes steps David Harewood, perfect for the part. Wearing a beautiful silky green suit, Shakespeare later refers to jealousy as a green-eyed monster, he's elegant, poised and physically imposing. He radiates authority and speaks some of the most poetic lines in Shakespeare's canon beautifully and lucidly. But we can also see straight away why the rigidity of a military man and the lack of confidence of an outsider set him up for his downfall at the hands of Iago. Now, Toby Jones has the task of creating a rounded picture of someone that we actually learn remarkably little about, and that's despite him having more lines than Othello himself, and indeed more lines than any character in Shakespeare except Hamlet and Richard III. He does it brilliantly. The character is perceived to be an honest soldier, and that word honest occurs over 50 times in the play as Shakespeare piles on the irony, thus giving the audience something to laugh about in an otherwise serious drama. Toby Jones deploys his familiar genial countenance when addressing others, and then swivels toward the audience with a face hardened and eyes gone glacial. He's trusted by Othello as a good, honest soldier. He's aggrieved that he's been passed over for promotion. Othello has appointed Michael Cassio as second in command. He seeks vengeance for the slight, and spotting Othello's vulnerability, Desdemona, he devises a plan to humiliate him. That Othello is so easily convinced of his wife's infidelity is, in context, not implausible. I mean, they married in haste and in secret. So how well does he truly know her? And let's not forget her enraged father, played with distinction by Peter Guinness, warns early on she's deceived her father and may thee. Iago then improvises his way through a campaign of insinuation, his plot evolving with each new contingency, something Toby Jones conveys with wonderful darting eyes, and which is exciting to behold. Keep watching, and I'll tell you about Caitlin FitzGerald as Desdemona, and more about David Harewood and Toby Jones. You're watching Theatre Reviews with Paul Seven. On this channel I review mainly London shows and sometimes talk about theatre in more general terms. You could also follow me at my website, Theatre.Reviews, where you can read these reviews and my roundups of other critics' reviews. Even if you did still have any doubt that Othello would fall for this villain's machinations, you've only to recall Celebrity Traitors to see how difficult people find it to detect deception and how trusting they are of appearances. Not that I'm comparing Alan Carr with Iago, but more generally, how hard it is to differentiate between truth and falsehood in the mouths of politicians or in the media. Now, jealousy pervades the play, as does a corrosive sense of inferiority. Both Othello and Iago are driven by these impulses, yet where Jones's Iago remains implacably steely, Harewood's Othello disintegrates visibly. His once perfect outfit becomes dishevelled. His tongue, which initially roamed nervously around the inside of his mouth, now flicks out of the corner. He spits out words that previously he would have modulated. A tragic flaw has enabled a villain to bring him down. But once he accepts the supposed evidence of Desdemona's betrayal, the military tactician resurfaces and coldly orchestrates her destruction. As for Desdemona, well, I was initially sceptical about casting an older actor. I mean, the text seems to suggest she's young. I mean, she's initially seen as having been stolen by Othello, and later she's naively oblivious to Othello's changing temperament. But Caitlin FitzGerald, a mature performer, illuminates the role in unexpected ways. She conveys the rapture of early love, yes, but while also interacting with Othello on equal footing, asserting herself in their arguments with a modern feminist inflection. Similarly, Emilia, wife to Iago, maid to Desdemona, receives a powerful feminist interpretation from Vinette Robinson. Though nearly as cynical as her husband, she possesses a moral core which he lacks, and in this production she voices her views on men and on the catastrophe unfolding around her with bruising, heartbreaking passion. Other parts are deftly realised. Luke Treadaway is a sensitive Cassio, not at all arrogant as he's often portrayed. Tom Byrne is the perfect fool as Iago's dupe Rodrigo. Although the dress is modern, tie-green set is neutral. Gilded geometric structures evoke the opulence of a Venetian palace before reconfiguring into corridors, chambers and shadowy streets. But nothing distracts from the momentum of the drama. Even PJ Harvey's atmospheric compositions, which are played almost continuously, never compete with the action. In this production, although Toby Jones' portrayal of evil personified remains the driving force, it's David Harewood's subtle, flawed Othello who takes centre stage. I give Othello at the Theatre Royal Haymarket 5 stars. I hope you found this review useful, interesting, and if you did, please like, comment and subscribe to this channel, then you'll be the first to know about my future reviews. You can also read my reviews and my roundups of other critics' reviews at Theatre.Reviews. And you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Mastodon, Threads and Blue Sky.